Chosen one. To many, marriage is seen as the ultimate destination in life, a symbol of love, commitment, and stability. But if you are one of the chosen ones, a soul with a divine mission, a unique path, and a higher purpose, then marriage might not feel like a gift, but rather a subtle form of imprisonment. For the average person, marriage offers companionship and comfort, but for the chosen ones, it can become a spiritual cage, one that slowly suffocates your mission, drowns out your inner calling, and drains the sacred energy entrusted to you for a higher cause. You were not sent here to live a normal life. You were born to awaken, to lead, to break patterns, and sometimes, that path demands solitude. This video will reveal 8 powerful ways marriage can limit, control, and even derail the destiny of those who are meant to rise. This is not a rejection of love, it's an awakening to the truth that not everyone is meant to follow the conventional path. If you feel a spark inside after hearing this message, don't hesitate to hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel. We are on a mission to reach 1,000 beautiful souls, and comment the number 111 below. This sacred number will amplify the vibration of this message and align your energy with the divine path, especially if you are truly one of the chosen. Now, let's uncover the hidden truths about how marriage, though seemingly a destination, can become the greatest obstacle to your divine mission. Chosen ones are not born to follow paths already paved by others. They are meant to forge new ones. Often through wilderness and uncertainty, they are the visionaries who see beyond the veil of ordinary life. The free thinkers who question systems most accept without a second thought. Their minds are not wired for obedience, but for originality. Their souls are not designed for comfort, but for growth, transformation, and purpose. Marriage, in its traditional sense, is one of society's oldest structures, a framework built on expectations, roles, and responsibilities. It often comes with a script: be the provider, the nurturer, the loyal partner, show up, sacrifice, settle. And while love can be sacred, the institution of marriage can act as a cage for those who are not meant to live by others' rules. The moment you enter it, the world begins to hand you labels, quietly demanding you abandon pieces of yourself to uphold a system that was never designed with your soul in mind. For a chosen one, this can feel like spiritual suffocation. The subtle erosion of self begins, not all at once, but in small, daily compromises. Your dreams are postponed, your essence diluted, your energy rerouted into roles that feel foreign to your inner truth. The fire that once guided you may dim beneath the weight of duty, routine, and expectation. But here's the truth: chosen ones were never meant to shrink. They are here to challenge the norms, not submit to them. They are disruptors of old paradigms, architects of new realities. Anything that forces them to abandon their authentic selves, even something as culturally revered as marriage, can become a silent assassin of destiny. If you feel trapped, if marriage feels like a contract you signed under pressure rather than a sanctuary for your soul, then that feeling is not to be ignored. It may be the first whisper from your higher self, reminding you, you are not here to fit in, you are here to rise above. And anything that demands your silence, your conformity, or your dimming is not aligned with your calling. Chosen ones. The energy of a chosen one is sacred. Every thought, every emotion, every second of their existence holds immeasurable value. Chosen ones don't merely live, they exist with a purpose far greater than themselves: the pursuit of spiritual awakening, the creation of transcendent art, the development of revolutionary ideas, or the relentless search for deeper universal truths. And to fulfill this mission, their focus must be undivided. Distraction is their most dangerous enemy. Marriage, though often seen as emotional refuge, demands an immense amount of mental and emotional energy. It is not merely about presence, it is about constant commitment. About becoming responsible for another person's feelings, needs, and emotional stability. Conversations that once brimmed with depth and discovery may now revolve around bills, routines, and minor conflicts. Slowly, the chosen one begins to lose clarity. Exhaustion sets in. The fire that once burned for their sacred purpose begins to flicker under the weight of maintaining a relationship. It is no coincidence that many sages, mystics, and visionaries throughout history walked alone. They understood that their energy was too precious to be scattered across the demands of daily companionship. They chose solitude not out of loneliness, but out of power. A mind free from emotional noise is a mind that can ascend, create, and transform reality. If you have ever felt yourself slowly fading into the shadows of someone else's needs, if you felt your soul running dry, too drained to pursue what once made your spirit come alive, perhaps you are not mistaken. Perhaps it is a sign that you are trying to hold on to something that was never meant to contain you, but to awaken you and then release you. A chosen one does not belong to comfort, they belong to the path. And that path demands absolute freedom. For the chosen ones, responsibility is not just a part of life, it is a cycle that can easily become a cage for the soul. Freedom is not a luxury for them, it is a lifeline. They are born with a fire that refuses to be extinguished, an innate longing to expand, to understand, to become the most authentic version of themselves. Their minds crave discovery. Their hearts cannot rest within the confines of repetition or safety. They are not built for monotony. They do not thrive in environments that are closed, rigid, or overly predictable. In order to create, to evolve, to truly live, they need space, not just physical space, but emotional, mental, and spiritual space. Space to breathe, to dream, to act. Marriage, however, often comes with an unspoken contract, a quiet agreement to embrace stability, shared responsibilities, and a structured life. Once you enter into it, your existence is no longer entirely your own. You become part of a system, bills to pay, expectations to meet, roles to fulfill, and if children are involved, the weight of responsibility multiplies exponentially. For the chosen ones, this can feel suffocating, not because they lack love, or because they do not value their partners, but because their spirits were never meant to be anchored by obligation. The traditional mold of marriage, no matter how well-intentioned, can slowly pull them away from themselves. Their sense of purpose begins to fade. The spark that once defined them dims. They begin to feel estranged from their essence, their calling, and the wild inner voice that once guided them forward. The need to break free, to reclaim their energy, their time, their vision, becomes undeniable. If marriage starts to feel more like confinement than connection, it may be a sign, not of failure, but of misalignment. Sometimes, love is not enough to hold a soul that was never meant to be still. The path of a chosen one is far from ordinary. It is a deeply spiritual journey, where the soul is guided by a sacred connection to the universe, a relentless pursuit of higher truth, and an unwavering desire for awakening. A chosen one does not chase material comfort or worldly recognition. They are in search of something far greater: wisdom, enlightenment, and union with the divine. Their life is a continuous process of self-discovery, shedding illusions, transcending ego, and finding profound inner peace. But when marriage enters the picture, a deeply emotional and earthly bond, the subtle flow of spiritual energy can become fragmented. Marriage, with all its intimacy, responsibilities, and attachments, introduces distractions, sometimes subtle, sometimes overwhelming, that pull the mind away from spiritual elevation. Relationships require effort, and with effort come compromises, conflicts, and expectations. Over time, these can form emotional blockages that weigh heavily on the soul. Instead of directing their energy toward expanding consciousness, the chosen one may find themselves caught in the emotional entanglements of partnership, which can hinder their spiritual evolution. This is why many enlightened beings, monks, and spiritual masters have chosen solitude. They understood that to reach the highest realms of awareness, one must release the physical ties, even those that seem sacred. Because any attachment, once it becomes consuming, can anchor the soul and keep it from rising to its destined heights. If you feel that marriage has slowed your spiritual growth, it may be a sign that it no longer aligns with your soul's path. The way of the chosen one is not always meant to follow the crowd. It is guided by truth, by freedom, and by a deep, unconditional love for divine evolution. The chosen ones were not born to live ordinary lives. They are meant to lead, to explore, to embark on journeys others wouldn't dare to imagine. Their lives don't follow conventional patterns. They are ever-evolving souls. Rule breakers, truth seekers, and path makers. For them, risk isn't something to avoid, it's a necessary ingredient for growth, transformation, and impact. But marriage, while it can offer connection and emotional grounding, often comes with a demand that contradicts the very essence of a chosen one: security. It requires steady income, predictable routines, and environments built for comfort and control. And for someone who was born to challenge limits, that kind of safety can quietly become a cage. Slowly, the wild dreams begin to fade, those visions of traveling the world, launching revolutionary movements, or daring to build something the world has never seen. The chosen one starts living to maintain, rather than to elevate. The fire that once blazed with ambition is reduced to quiet embers beneath the weight of responsibility. If you've ever felt like marriage made you play it safe, like it slowly traded your boldness for balance, then maybe it's a sign that something sacred within you is being suppressed. Maybe your full potential is being quietly restrained. Chosen ones are not meant to shrink to fit inside societal molds. They're here to rewrite the rules, to shake the ground, to expand what's possible, and anything that asks them to tame that wild spirit is not helping them grow. It's holding them back from the destiny they were born to fulfill. The chosen ones possess a unique gift, the power of solitude. In moments of deep silence and isolation from the noise of the world, they receive their most groundbreaking ideas, profound insights, and divine downloads from the universe. It is in this sacred stillness that their minds unlock dimensions of thought and understanding unreachable by most. However, marriage rarely allows for such solitude. Daily life becomes a constant cycle of conversations, emotional maintenance, problem solving, and shared responsibilities. In this dynamic, the creative and spiritual energy of the chosen begins to fade, as they no longer have the space to recharge and reconnect with their inner power. This is why many of history's greatest minds and enlightened beings, like Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, and Buddha, chose solitude over marriage. It wasn't because they were indifferent to love, but because they understood that solitude is the gateway to divine connection, the essential condition for fulfilling the higher mission they were sent to complete. For a chosen one, the path is never linear. They aren't bound to anything permanently. They move with the rhythm of the universe, ready to shift, to let go, to walk away from whatever no longer aligns with their soul's mission. But marriage is different. It binds, it roots, and at times, it becomes a golden cage, When a chosen one finds themselves in a relationship where change becomes difficult, where each step away from the old path feels heavier, that is a warning sign. An ideal marriage should be a launchpad for growth, not a chain that holds you back from transformation. If you feel your marriage is making it harder to pivot, to evolve, to expand, then it may be limiting you, not supporting you. And a chosen one always knows. The soul should never be confined by a worldly commitment. One of the most dangerous ways marriage can limit the chosen ones is by slowly making them forget who they truly are. Over time, you stop being your own person. You become someone's wife or someone's husband. You merge into a relationship that demands compromise, where decisions must be mutual, dreams must align, and sacrifices are expected. But chosen ones are not here to live by a shared script. They are here to follow a divine, one-of-a-kind blueprint written only for their soul. If you feel disconnected from your true identity, if you sense that you've become a watered-down version of who you were meant to be, it's a sign that marriage may be dimming your inner light. If these words resonate with you, know this: you are not alone. The chosen ones, throughout history, have all faced this same internal struggle. But awareness is power. Once you awaken to the truth, you can reclaim the destiny the universe has placed within you. If something inside you is stirring right now, type 111 to affirm your awakening. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful messages on purpose, spirituality, and self-discovery. Your soul was born for greatness. Don't let anything confine it.